All right, good evening. Happy Tuesday. If you're catching the replay, congratulations. We have an incredible lineup for you this evening. I'm so excited for you to hear from these two wonderful gentlemen that are going to be talking to you about how LifeWave's technology have radically changed their lives in many different ways. But before we get started tonight, my name is Dr. Stacy Hollweger, and I am so excited that you are here to hear about LifeWave's technology. So if you're a guest, just hang tight. We're going to get to the science and tech a little bit towards the end, but I really want you to hear from them and give them the time to share their stories and their timelines of what's happened with them on this journey. So before we do get started, please know that I am not a medical doctor. So any of the information that I'm sharing this evening is for informational purposes only. And if you have questions about your health, your medications or whatnot, please check with your doctor, your healthcare practitioner. They'll be able to guide you, of course, in that journey. And know that we are not sharing anything tonight that's intended to treat, cure, prevent, or diagnose any disease or anything like that. We're just really for informational purposes going to be sharing information about this technology, how it helps people, and how it can help you as well too. So let's go ahead and get started with Jeremy. Jeremy, I'm going to bring you up here on the screen. If you could pop up here, here we go. Fantastic. Jeremy's sitting out there outside enjoying the beautiful sunshine in the great state of Texas. So Jeremy, let's talk a little bit about your life before patching. How long ago, you found out about LifeWave, and then of course I want you to take us through step by step with your journey and what's happened in your life since this technology entered.
All right. Well, welcome everybody. Glad you could join us. Like Dr. Stacy said, I'm here in Texas. I live in Waxahachie. That's Ellis County. We're about 35 miles south of Dallas. And my journey all started back in 2018 when I was diagnosed with autonomic neuropathy, and I had type 2 diabetes at the time. And things just started to spiral out of control. I was eating whatever I wanted to, just like we all do. And I had bad habits and just couldn't get on the right track. So my health just started spiraling downward. And I was a deputy sheriff at the time. I worked 31 years here in Ellis County as a deputy. And I wound up having to retire in 2020 due to my health. My blood sugar was just sky high, out of the roof. I couldn't control it. Was on several different medications at the time for that, as well as some pain pills for the neuropathy issues that I had going on. And anybody that's ever experienced those type of pains due to that condition, you know what I'm talking about when I say excruciating pain. It's just the pain that you don't want to live with. You learn to try to do different things to make your life easier or better, and you just I don't know how to describe it other than it's just excruciating. It's pain that you don't want to live with. I had went to a neurologist, and he did several tests on me. And once I got my diagnosis, basically every doctor that I ever talked to always said that there's really not a whole lot we can do for the nerve damage that has already occurred, but we can put you on some pills, which that seems like most every traditional doctor's recipe. Let's put you on a pill. So I wound up getting on 4 different pills at the time. And each time I'd go back to him, I'd ask for a stronger dosage because they weren't helping. And it got to a point where he said, Mr. Osteen, he says, I can't give you any higher dosage of medication than what you're already on because I'm going to start shutting down your organs, your liver and your kidneys. And my family, they've had an issue with kidney disease over the years. My dad had that. My mom, she's a kidney recipient as well. And I just, something come to me and said, I've got to change my lifestyle because I don't want to go down the same road that my mom and my dad has went down. So I decided to go ahead and retire in 2020 due to my illness. And it got to the point where I was just sitting around the house doing nothing other than just being in pain. And I'd go to bed every night and I'd pray to Jesus that I wouldn't wake up tomorrow morning. And about 2.5 years into that, I got a call from a lady called named Kathy Stevenson, who introduced me to LifeWave. And she said, J.O., she said, I might have found something for your pain. And I said, Kathy, you probably hadn't. I said, because I've tried every lotion, potion, pill there is on the market, and nothing seems to be working. And she says, well, what do you have to lose? And I said, well, I guess a couple more $100. So later on during our conversation, I told her, I said, Kathy, I said, let's go ahead and order some patches and let's see what they do for me. She said, well, we'll never know until you get them on your body. So 3 or 4 days later, I got my patches in the mail. I called her up and I said, what do I do with these things? And she began to tell me how to wear them, how long to wear them. And I took her guidance and I started wearing these patches. And 9 short days later, believe it or not, my pain was completely 100% gone in my lower extremities. My feet, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I sat there at nighttime and I beat my feet back and forth just together to try to rid the pain or get blood flow going in my feet, anything to help. And that particular night, 9 days later, I'm sitting on the couch and my wife, she asked me, why are you not beating your feet together tonight? And I said, you know, it just now dawned on me my feet are not hurting me. And as of May the 3rd, I've been wearing these patches for 22 months now. And I can say for 22 months, I've been pain free.
Wow.
And the most exciting thing for me out of this whole 22-month journey is I told you I was on 5 different diabetes medicines and 4 narcotic pain pills and a blood pressure pill. That's 10 prescription medicines, folks. And 17 months after I started wearing these patches, I'm off of all 10 prescription medicines. I don't take any pills anymore for any of my diagnoses that I had. And that's just unreal. It's kind of hard to believe. But I'm living proof of that. I just come here tonight and I love sharing my story with people because of the life-changing effects that these patches have given me. They've given me my life back. And I don't know how to thank Kathy and David Schmidt and Dr. Stacy, all of you leaders that have helped me along the way. It's just incredible.
Wow.
So, you know, I don't know, Dr. Stacy. I mean, it has been a blessing.
I mean, obviously, people are, they're mind blown, right? So we have some questions. First off, what patches did you start with, and what have you added if you've added some? But where did you start? What were you using in that first 9 days?
Well, I started out wearing the X39, Eon, X49, and then I think it was my second month in, I added carnosine and then glutathione. And I wore the ice wave patch at nighttime on the bottoms of my feet for the pain. Now, granted, when I put those ice wave patches on the first few nights, uh, you know, like we're all told, those are mainly for pain, and you got to kind of play with those and move them around. Don't just stick them on your feet and expect, hey, my pain's going to be gone, because every person's body's different, and we all have different ailments going on. Some people's pain may be in a different spot from what mine was, or these are recommended to work in acupuncture points, and I kind of had to play with the patches to figure out what best suited me in my body to alleviate my pain. So I originally had started out wearing them on the tops of my feet, right behind my big toe. In the first 2 or 3 days, I didn't really notice any kind of relief, and it really wasn't explained to me at that time when I first started that I could move these things around to get better benefits. So I started doing that, and miraculously, my pain level went from 10 or a 12 just down to nothing. I mean, it was zero. I actually had feeling in my feet for the first time in over 2.5 years.
Wow.
I couldn't tell the difference between hot and cold. I'd go to bed sometimes and say, I tell my wife my feet are burning off. And she used to rub some different types of creams on it that we had gotten from a doctor. And I couldn't stand her to touch my feet. I couldn't even stand the sheet to lay on my feet. It hurt so bad. And when she would touch my feet, she said, your feet are freezing cold. To me, it felt like they were burning off. So for me to be able to get feeling back and tell the difference in hot and cold, or if something was sticking me, uh, that was just mind-boggling to be able to have those feelings back that I didn't have for 2.5 years. Other than it was just pain. As far as the other patches go, I really started feeling a lot more benefits after I started adding the other patches, the carnosine and the glutathione. As I went through my journey, I started learning what different patches were basically designed to do and to help repair the body. And I just wanted more. So I kept reading up on things and listening to Zooms, and of course, Dr. Stacy and some of the other doctors uh, talking about different things, the different effects that different patches do for the body, for healing and repairing. And my wife and I come to the conclusion that we needed them all. So today I wear all the patches. I've lost 43 pounds over 22 months. I haven't changed my diet in any way. My A1C when I started was 12.1. I had it checked here 2 months ago, and it was 6.1. I think it's lower than that now, but I go back in a couple of months to have more blood work done. So I've had blood work done 3 times in 22 months, and each and every time that blood work has been drawn, the results have come back better every single time on all of my numbers. So this stuff works.
That's amazing. And I'm assuming through this time period, I think you said 17 months of being able to eliminate those 10 prescription medications, you were obviously working with your doctor and taking those down in the appropriate amounts and times, correct?
Of course, there were 2 out of the 4 pain pills that I just quit cold turkey one night. Said I don't need those anymore because I'm not hurting like I was. And then, of course, I went to the doctor and I It was my regular visit to go see him, and he's like, "Okay, I'm going to write your new prescriptions." And I said, "Well, these two meds I don't need anymore. I quit taking them." And he's like, "Oh, wait, you need my help in weaning yourself off. These are narcotics, and your body have been dependent on this for a long period of time. So it's not good for you to just cut them out automatically." So I worked with them over the next several months. And month 17, I got off of my last prescription. And that's saved me a ton of money in prescription money. And I couldn't be any happier than what I am right now. I haven't felt this good, and I couldn't tell you when. I'm 55 years old, and there's days I feel like a 25-year-old.
Wow.
I'm able to do things with my kids, my grandkids next door that I wasn't able to do. I mean, there was times when we'd go out to the ranch for a weekend. I sat my side beside my buggy and watched them do things. And this past year when we went, uh, I was able to do everything that they did. We hiked the mountain and everything, and it was brought to my wife's attention by my oldest grandson what's gotten into J. Paul, because the last time we were here, he couldn't get out of the buggy. He hurt so bad. So
Wow.
that's coming from a 10-year-old.
Wow.
So it's noticed.
Congratulations, Jeremy.
Thank
So,
you.
so unbelievably happy for you and grateful for you to stay on this journey with this technology, to see these changes and have these improvements, and of course to be here and share with everyone that's on tonight. We've got about 500 people live, and of course we always have thousands that watch the replay. So I know this impact, your massive impact in your life, is going to make a huge impact on others. So congratulations. And we're excited to see you shortly here in the great state of Texas when I'm down there in Dallas in a few weeks and celebrate even more of your successes. So thank you, Jeremy, for being here tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I'm going to bring on here Mr. Bob Campbell. Bob Campbell, we are excited to hear your journey, your success, things that have happened to you over your time span with patching. So take it away, Bob. You've got the floor, buddy.
Well, thank you. Jeremy, thank you for your service. So happy for you.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, so my journey. This gets me so emotional. I've been on the patches for 5 years, but for the first 2.5 years, I did nothing but X39 only. I didn't know any better. I still don't know any better. But the whole point is that I have a business partner. She's the brains. I'm the beauty. Well, she's probably the beauty too. But she and I met for lunch after we'd been on the patches. Amy Holmesy is her name. And Amy and I met for lunch. And after we'd been on the patches about 10 days. And Amy looks at me and she said, "Have you noticed anything on these patches?" And I said, "I think my energy level has doubled." And she goes, "I think my fibromyalgia pain has been cut in half." And Amy said the most profound thing she's ever said. She goes, "Bob, if we don't share this with people, it's criminal." And that's been our attitude since that day. So within 10 days, energy level doubled. Within 6 to 7 weeks, my sleep pattern got dramatically better. Guys, I have not slept well since I was a sophomore in high school. And I've had to drag my butt out of bed every day of my life since I was a sophomore in high school. Okay, so once I started to sleep 6 to 6.5 hours straight through, my energy level went through the roof. I mean, I wake up now looking for things to do, and I'm 75. So it is the most amazing thing. I just can't get over it. So then, am I allowed to use the C word here?
Whatever you need to say, Bob, you go right ahead.
Okay. So they found prostate cancer in me 17 years ago. And I have not been able to urinate not one drop for 12 years without daily medication. I am a man. I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer. Twice in 12 years, I forgot to take that medication, and both times I ended up in the emergency room with a catheter. That's the only way they could get the urine out of me. So I'm on the patch X39 about 3.5 months. I'm still on the medication, but I go to the bathroom and all of a sudden my flow is really strong this day. And I'm thinking, wow, that's interesting. And the next day it's very strong again. And because I'd heard all these testimonials from people, I'm thinking, wonder if I stop taking that medication. Now I was a little leery. I don't want to end up with a catheter, but I stopped. I've never had to take that medication again after every day for 12 years. It's been nearly 5 years later. 5 years. I'm like I'm 30 years old again. So Amy would argue that too. So because she says I've never really grown up. But the whole point is this is the most amazing thing, just like with Jeremy. Now, another thing, I have had 7 foot surgeries, 5 knee surgeries, my left knee replaced, my right knee scheduled for replacement. I played a lot of sports when I was younger. And I've been in pain like Jeremy. Jeremy, you're the second person I've heard say this. I don't even usually bring it up, but since you did, I will. I couldn't touch a sheet to my feet either. Could not touch a sheet. The sheet could not lay on top of my feet. It was too painful. My foot surgeon said I had the worst feet he'd ever seen in the history of his practice. So it's good to be number one, I guess. But the whole point with that is that it took, well, I also had arthritis in my hands, by the way. And I struggled 10 years ago to walk up and down stairs. When I got out of bed in the morning, the first 10 to 20 steps was excruciating. It just hurt so badly. 6 months go by, I have zero pain relief. That's why I'm happy for you, Jeremy. I had zero pain relief, not a little bit, nothing. And I'm thinking, okay, it's not going to help. But I was so happy about all the other things, I didn't really care. So what ended up happening is David Schmidt always says, give the patches 1 month for every decade you've been alive. So at the time I was 70. So I should give it 7 months, even though 6 months, nothing. 7th month, I get out of bed to go to the bathroom one morning. I step down, go to the bathroom, come back, get ready to get dressed. And I realized something was different, but I honestly couldn't figure out what it was. And then it dawned on me. I had no pain, no stiffness.
You're all right. We're so happy for you. You didn't give up. You didn't give up.
No pain, no stiffness, no swelling anywhere in my body. I couldn't wear a ring on my finger for 10 years because of the stiffness and swelling in my knuckles. It's all gone. Guys, that pain has never come back. I have not had 1 second of pain in 5 years.
Wow. That
part of this emotion is it saved my son's life as well. I'm not going to get into that, but it did save my son's life. So, and the last thing, well, one of the things, other thing, I've also lost 17 pounds. I weigh exactly what I weighed for 20 years, from 1978 to 1998, when I was delivering mail and walking 5 miles a day. Wow. So I weigh exactly back down 17 pounds less, right at that number again. It's just incredible to me. So then I go, I have worn glasses since I was in grade school, and I go every 2 years to get my eyes examined. So this is the last thing that is memorable. So about six or 7 months ago now, I go to get my eyes examined, and the doctor says, I got to examine your eyes again. He examines them once. He goes, I got to examine them again. And I go, okay. So he examines them, and he said, I got the same result. And I go, what's the matter? He goes, both of your eyes have improved. He goes, I have to lower the power in both lenses. What the hell are you doing? Okay. And I said, this little patch. And I explained it to him very briefly and gave him some info on it. Then I had a follow up to go get my glasses. Now, this is kind of interesting. So when I go back, and by the way, the doctor was 70 who did my eye exam. And he goes, "Oh, I forgot this part." He goes, "You forgot to put down your medications." I said, not on any medications. He goes, "Well, are you 75?" I go, "Yeah, I'm 75, but I'm not on any medications." And it blew him away. So when I came back to pick up the glasses, because he had said to me at that first the time I was there, he goes, "I need to get some of these." And I go, "Everybody needs to get some of these." So when I came back and got the glasses, I said, did you want to order some?" And he says, "No." He goes, "I went to my friend who's a stem cell doctor, and he says those patches don't work."
You're like, but my patient has improvement in his vision as he's gotten older.
So, yeah, Western medicine, you got to love them. You
Uh-huh.
just got to love them. You got to feel sorry for them, but you got to love them.
Yeah.
So, excuse me. What?
No, you're good. So,
So,
Bob,
anyway,
I want to know you used X39 only for 2 years. That was it.
two
That's
and a half years,
two and a half.
X39 only.
So, what
Uh,
have you used the last 2.5 years on top of that? They want to
the
know that.
last 2.5 years, as David said, he never goes a day without using X39 and Eon. So now I do wear Eon at nighttime. I wear Alavida as well. And I wear carnosine and X49, carnosine, X49, and X39 during the day, Alavida and Eon at nighttime. So it's very, very interesting how all of this has come about. And after being here for 5 years, I still don't understand it. And I'm an SPD. So you don't have to know anything to build this business. I'm living proof.
Oh, wow. Bob, I mean, what a journey you've been on. And I remember we were together earlier this year, I think in January, and you were sharing your testimonial at an event, and you would share something about being at your grandson's football game. And after
Oh,
the game, he wanted to race. Do you remember that?
my grandson, who is 11, and he's the apple of my eye. He plays football in pads and the helmet and the whole 9 yards at 11. And he said, he goes, "Grandpa, I'll race you." And I said, "Okay." And I said, "What are we going to do?" He goes, "Let's do a 50-yard dash." And I go, "Now you got to remember, guys, I could barely walk 10 years ago, barely get in and out of my car 10 years ago." And so he and I ran a 50-yard dash. Now he blew my doors off, but he's such a great kid. He slowed down and let me catch up a little bit, right? So when I was done, these two grandmas who were there walked up to me and they said, "May we ask how old you are?" And I go, "Yeah, I'm 74." At the time, I was 74. And they go, "How did you do that?" And I said, "Well, I have a little secret." And I walked away.
Mm. That little secret on the back of your neck, right?
Yeah, but I didn't say anything. I just walked away. Of course, they followed me and they go, "Well, what's the secret?" I go, and anyway, long story short, they became customers,
I love that.
preferred customers.
Of course.
So, yeah, little things like that. And that's why I'm so impressed by Jeremy. And Jeremy, being a police officer nowadays, you don't want to put a gun in my hands. So, congratulations on that. So,
Wow. Well,
but
thank
yeah,
you.
I see. I forget about all these little things, Stacy.
Yeah, they do. They add up over time. That's the whole
Yeah,
point of staying on the patches. Things compound and things continue to improve. 5 years later, and you're reducing your eye prescription in your eyeglasses. I mean,
yeah,
just being able to run a race with your grandson, a 50-yard dash. Like what 74 5-year-old runs 50-yard dashes?
yeah.
Just that's impressive. And I remember you saying just a little bit ago that you feel better now than you've ever felt ever.
I think better now than I've ever felt in my lifetime. Yes. I have energy out the yin yang. I do whatever I want whenever I want financially because of this company and David Schmidt and you and everybody else that are leaders here. You just inspiring. And I've done networking before, but I have never been did with Crossline like we do.
Mm.
We all help one another. We don't care.
Yeah.
It's get the message out there for others to get healthy. Because in following the Western medicine syndrome, as what I call it, people don't think they can get better. They don't realize they can get better. Just drugs, drugs, drugs. And at 75, being off of all medications as well, it's crazy. And to feel this good is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy good.
Crazy good. Congratulations,
Yeah.
Bob. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to pour into our LifeWave community as well. That ripple effect, of course, is going to be far reached. Your story is absolutely life-changing and inspiring for so many people that are in pain or are on medications or don't have the best quality of life, and they're looking for hope, and you provide that. Jeremy provides that for people, and so we appreciate you taking the time to share
May
tonight.
I do one? I hate to. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Go ahead.
The lady who introduced this to us name was Kylie Allen. Without Kylie, I don't know where I'd be.
Wow.
So thoughtful, just to share it with us. So if you ever are hesitate to share this, don't, because if you knew about it and you didn't share it with me, I would strangle you in front of Jeremy, even with his gun out. That's what would happen. So that's how important it has been to me, my family, and all my friends. And I can tell you stories the reason I tear up is not because of me. It's because I think about all the people we've helped. And when they call me crying, thanking me. So I'm going to go see the end of this month. I have a class reunion dinner. Now we're all 75, right? But almost everybody at that dinner is on the patches. And they all have stories and they're all wonderful. So,
Oh, that's going to be so amazing. So
yeah.
amazing. Well, thank you, Bob. Again, thank you, Jeremy. Thank you all for being here this evening. Of course, we'll get this up on YouTube ASAP so you guys can share this out. I know it's going to impact hundreds and thousands of people's lives. So thank you all. Please get back with the person that invited you here, shared this video with you. They're going to give you more information about this technology and how all of this just happened for these two men over the course of a couple years or more. And of course, how it can help you and benefit you as well, too. So thank you all so much for your time, energy, and effort, and have a fantastic evening.
Thank you, Dr. Stacy.
Bye, everyone.